Hey, what's up everyone? Here in New York on Wall Street, and a fitting start to the stream because Wall Street had a very bad day today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down almost 1,300 points, but it's Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. It's quarter to 10 p.m. and it's 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. Let's see what's around here on Tuesday evening. I know a lot of people want to see the front of the New York Stock Exchange, so let's go past there and also take a picture with the fearless girl. I see that they put the statues at the top of the New York Stock Exchange surrounded by netting. I wonder if they're renovating them. Well, this is my first time down here in about 5 months. Also, the New York Stock Exchange has the British flag. Usually there's 3 United States flags, but now there's a British flag. Most likely in honor of Queen Elizabeth II's passing. And here's the fearless girl. I remember when this was first installed, it was installed in front of the Charging Bull statue, and it was only supposed to be a temporary installation. So far, I haven't really noticed too much change down here in Lower Manhattan. I took a little bit of a walk here from Times Square and recorded it. I saw the biggest change in the Midtown area. I feel like there's more construction happening over there. Irving Collado says you work there. Well, I'm glad to stop by your workplace around here. I'm sure a lot of people work down in the Wall Street area. In fact, I remember a long time ago I was invited to a job interview down in the Wall Street area. So I've spent my fair share of time down here as well. Oh, VA, you used to work there before you moved to Miami. I know a lot of people get their start here on Wall Street. Yeah, Marco Polo, I was just mentioning it. It was a bad day for Wall Street today. All because the inflation numbers that came out this morning were a lot higher than expected. So as a result, the market expects the Federal Reserve to hike rates at a faster pace. And that's a negative for equity markets. I think this is new, this scaffolding on this block. I remember there used to be scaffolding on the next block here, but that's been removed. It was to construct the One Wall Street building, which is still under construction, by the way. There's still a construction fence there. Ethan G says you should go back to Miami. New York is becoming boring and every time it gets worse. I don't think it's going to be ending. Every single stream I get someone who says one or the other is boring, Miami or New York City, but you know what? I'm going to do what's best for me, not what YouTube wants. Hello.
Thank you, bro.
Hopefully these emergency vehicles will be able to respond in time. Oh, for sure, Scott. People are going to complain. Doesn't matter where in the world I am, people are going to complain. But I'm not here to complain. I'm here to show off New York City tonight. Ralph Unreal says Miami's boring, New York is way better. That's why it gets more views. You know, you may have a point there, but the thing is, I wouldn't judge views just based on being a place is better. Views is not a how should I say this? Is not reflective of a place being boring or not. It just means it's more popular, that's all. And it's understandable because there's a lot more people living here and it's where a lot more business is located. So just take that into consideration. Eric Linneman with $5. Welcome back to New York City. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it so much, Eric. Thank you for the support. I don't want to get into this argument of Miami versus New York City or anywhere else forever. Ray wants me to look inside the Equitable building. Sure, we can. The next block is the Equitable building at 120 Broadway. This is the Equitable building. You can't really see the top too well from this side, but there are two distinct towers. There's security in there, so I don't want to walk through the lobby. But right now, they're doing some cleaning and a little bit of construction materials there, I see. Isaac Jr. says, let's walk to Central Park. A little bit of a far walk, but we'll see what I can do tonight. I'm glad all the construction here is finished. And since I'm close by and did not visit the September 11th grounds, I think I'll head over here tonight. The World Trade Center area. Yes, Spectre, that's where I'm going. The One World Trade Center area. Douglas Fatilla, $5. Appreciate your live streaming in Manhattan. Indeed. Thank you, Douglas. Appreciate the support. Zuccotti Park. Looks like all the halal carts have closed up for the night. Snicker Bar says that's early for them to close. Really? I don't think it's early. It's almost 10 o'clock. There's not going to be not that many people out here tonight. So I did not make it to the World Trade Center area before September 11th on my visit back to New York City, but I am here now. I hope the reflecting pools are still open. Probably not. If they are, I'd like to pay my respects to those who perished on 2001 September 11th. Dwayne saying, are there any famous festivals in New York in September? Yes, the most well-known is the Feast of San Gennaro. In fact, it will be debuting this Thursday in Little Italy, Manhattan. SoCal Lawrence, $1.99. Wow, glad to see you back. Thank you, SoCal Lawrence. I really appreciate the support. All right, I think the September 11th memorial site is closed. They really only allow people to access this area close up during the daytime. But this is okay. At least I know I've been down here. I think there's someone over there who's maintaining the memorial. But since this is the closest I'm going to get, I do want to offer my condolences and a blessing to all of the people who lost their lives on September 11th, 2001, or have lost their life because of a result of September 11th, 2001. It's a really, really sad day, and I can't believe it's been 21 years already. I remember waking up that day. I was an innocent school children going to school and then coming back home, and I'm like, what just happened? And I realized something extremely bad happened. Something that affected New York City and the entire world. But I am glad that the city has mostly recovered from that day and has grown. This is the September 11th Museum. Ramses Delgado says it does feel like it happened yesterday. To a certain point, yes. I kind of feel like it's been at most like 5 years. That's what it feels like to me, not yesterday, but I do remember it. I'm sure if you ask anybody who lived through that day, who lived in New York City, they'll tell you exactly what they were doing during that day and what they remember. Any other day, it might be hard for someone to recount their memories, but that's one day that I'll always remember where I was when I learned that Lower Manhattan was in trouble. And the north reflecting pool is over there. And now we don't have twin towers anymore, but there's one tower, the One World Trade Center, 1776 feet tall, and the tallest building in New York City according to the spire height. By floor height, it's not the tallest. And over here, this is a performing arts center that's under construction. It's good to see that a lot of progress has been made on this. It's planning to open next year in 2023. Oh, the ABXco, you worked at 5 World Trade Center and changed my shift from 8:30 to 9 a.m. Still have my ID since I didn't make it up the street. Oh my gosh, so you were almost here. Thank goodness you're here with us now and chatting. Edward Boost with $4.99. Thank you, Edward, for the support. Appreciate it very much. I'm reading a few people who are typing that the September 11th museum is closing, and that the one I just showed, that one's not closing. There's a smaller museum. I forget where it is. I think it's on Church Street. It's called the 9/11 Tribute Museum. That one closed, and that one focused on the stories of the people who survived, whereas the National September 11th Museum focuses on objects from the World Trade Center and the events that led to it and things like that. Oh, Peter saying, you think anyone anywhere remembers where they were and what they were doing when they heard at the World Trade Center? I guess so. I don't know how broadly the event was televised, but I guess, yeah, I guess you're right. Probably even internationally it was broadcast, and people will know exactly where they were. Tiara Vaughn, $10. Stay safe. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Tiara. Appreciate it. And Norma Helly's here, Las Vegas YouTuber. So hard to watch any movies that were based on 9/11. Always makes me so sad. It's a tough subject matter. I totally get it. Spectre No One with $5. My wife and I love your videos. Can you come back for a fall time at Central Park and walking around New York City during the Christmas season? Thank you, Spectre No One. I'll see what I can do. I haven't announced my plans for my visit to New York City yet. I only said I'll be here for a while. And here's the view of One World Trade Center from the corner of Church Street and Vesey Street. Edward Bruce, $4.99. Are you back in New York City? Yes, I am. That's why I'm here right now. Miss you. You really helped during the heart of the pandemic. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Edward. Yes, that was a challenging time as well. Nothing really felt so strange as walking through empty streets of Manhattan. I remember when I said Times Square, I don't know if it will recover. It's the quietest neighborhood right now. And that was really, really sad to me. And now if you head to Times Square right now, it's going to be full of tourists again. Flo saying, thanks for the Astoria walking video. You're welcome. That was the first video I recorded on any neighborhood in New York City besides the airport. I figured I'd do my home neighborhood first. Norma Helly says, can't wait to see your collab with Here Be Bar. Yes, that was a fun video we did today. I don't want to spoil much of it, but we had a lot of fun. Isaac Jr. says, hey man, take care crossing the street. You know, Isaac, you make a very good point, because ever since I came back, and what I noticed from 5 months ago since I've been to New York City, I felt that people are a little bit more reckless now crossing the street and also driving in New York City. And I say this with a fact because I'm walking through the streets and I notice people are more eager to jump the light. Car drivers, I almost got hit by a driver making a left turn. And today I was walking down Broadway at 34th and 6th Avenue. I heard two cyclists crash into each other. I turned my back and both cyclists are on the ground. One cyclist looked like they were really injured as well. So it's really, really important to watch where you're going on the streets of New York. I say this with urgency because I've seen a lot of situations that could have been avoided had people been paying more attention and following the flow of traffic. Even in, it's not just a Manhattan thing too, because I noticed when I was walking in Queens, people almost got hit for jumping the light and the car speeding through. So when I say New York City is relatively safe, I can say that it's becoming more unsafe when it comes to traffic. People need to pay more attention and stop being so reckless. Andrew Morales, $5. Will you ever do a live stream in Hong Kong, London, or Tokyo? Hey, you never know, Andrew. I think it's very similar in some ways and will be interesting to compare them. Thanks, Andrew, for the support. H. Scott almost got ran over because a car was going the opposite direction. Good thing I looked both ways. Sure, H. Scott. And there's a video I'm premiering tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, how to stay safe in New York City at night. I had a road incident as well in that video as I was making it. And coincidentally, I was explaining how you have to be careful of traffic. I cross the street and then I see a traffic incident. You can't make this stuff up. Matt Man saying cell phones have made people less aware of their surroundings. Yeah, I guess to an extent. And I kind of feel that maybe people's minds are preoccupied elsewhere these days and not really focused on where they are in the moment. That's why there's a lot of these close calls with traffic. It's also possible that because we're so far into like people getting back to the normal life that they think that they're feeling more safe, so they're out more on the streets and feeling more confident, but they're letting their confidence get to them when it comes to the streets. So just remember, look both ways before you cross the street and stay safe out there. Megan says, really been enjoying your lives back in New York City. Hope you're doing well. I am, Megan. Thank you very much. Manhattan Municipal Building all lit up in the middle. Ryan PT says, guess the new crash detection feature of iPhone 14 is useful these days. I was hearing that during their presentation that the new iPhone has the crash protection where if it senses like a G-force change, then it will automatically alert authorities. And my issue with that is, I think initially the software, well, we're talking about Apple. I'm sure they've tested the software, but I'm still a little bit skeptical of how this technology is going to work. Because if you think about it, what if someone is riding an amusement park ride and they're going down a roller coaster that has a lot of sudden starts and stops? Wouldn't that really trigger the iPhone 14's crash detection system? Just something to think about. But we'll see. Hopefully Apple has their software optimized for that kind of scenario. Or made it, what if you do drop the phone? That's true too. Right there, an example of traffic dangers in New York City. Someone just biking down the middle of the sidewalk. At least if you're biking on the sidewalk, they could have a little more decency to bike on one side, but nope, they go right down the middle. That's speed too. Hung Mao says I should shine my flashlight at the bicyclists. Sometimes things happen so quickly you can't anticipate stuff like that. I'll do it if I anticipate if a street's going to be problematic or not, but not something like that. I've almost made my way over to Canal Street.
Stormy. We had to go into Mount Pine.
S Mango is saying near Chinatown. Somewhat. Chinatown is past Broadway. I'm on Church Street right now. Broadway's only a block away from me. Ethan Quinn saying, are there any changes in the city since you've been away that have surprised you? Several, but nothing that's really too surprising to me. I mean, I haven't really seen too many new buildings go up. I've seen scaffolding taken down, but in terms of like new super tall skyscrapers or new attractions, that really hasn't happened much since I left.
I just remember like the events of that day.
Take a look at that view of the Empire State Building. Gabriel, am I walking near Tribeca? I am in Tribeca right now. You see here, I'm not crossing the street even though I can, and I see a left turn signal because I don't really trust drivers anymore. I used to do that But after seeing how reckless people are nowadays, I wait on the curb until I know the car is passed. Tamila is saying, is there anything in native New Yorkers need to go to the Empire State Building for? Is it just an office building? Tamila, believe it or not, there's a few retail shops on the ground level of the Empire State Building. So if native New Yorkers need to go for anything, I would say they would shop at one of those places on the ground level. I think there was or is a Dwayne Reed on the ground level there. But I wouldn't expect native New Yorkers to have a reason to go to the Empire State Building unless it's to sightsee or they work there. I guess, Zozo, if you want to propose at the top of the observatory, maybe that's one incident where you might want to consider going to the Empire State Building. That's actually a good idea for a proposal site. Haven't thought of that before, but it sounds romantic. That might be the highest proposal in New York City at that time, and no one else can be higher than you unless they're at the World Trade Center. But even then, I doubt there's someone proposing the same time you are. Samuel says you'll pass on that one, too high for me. Oh my gosh, can you imagine getting proposed to on the Empire State Building and being, will you marry me? We're at the highest point in New York. And then people will be like, and then the woman will be like, no, honey, I'm afraid of heights. Wait till we get down first, and then I'll say I do. It'll be one of the first conditional proposals in the history of the city. He even said, they said no, they have to ride the awkward elevator down. It's pretty funny. Ramsey says proposal's gone wrong. Life begins at 40 truck. What if you go up there and it's super windy? I think the observatory is completely enclosed. I haven't been there on a super windy day, so I don't know if there's much swaying there, but I would assume it would be okay. Tim Healer says, like the way your friends got engaged in a park. at the right elevation. I've seen some crazy proposals before where I have to say they could have chosen a better location. I think the worst proposal, no matter where the location is if you propose in a place that's very loud. Honey, will you marry me? Huh? I can't hear you. What? We're in a helicopter. If you propose, it better be in a quiet spot, not in a loud spot, because that's pretty embarrassing. I think that's one of the worst ways to ruin a proposal ever, to do it in a very loud spot. Let's go this way. Janine says you love how empty Soho is at nighttime. Yeah, it's definitely very different. I think I want to check out a little bit of Mulberry Street to see how far along they are to setting up the Feast of San Gennaro. Because it's only 2 days away now. I don't expect many places in Chinatown to still be open. Usually Chinatown closes early, around like 7:30ish or so. Most places close. Let's see if the city fixed this major pothole. It's only about 2 blocks away on Baxter and Canal. Uh-oh, uh-oh. The traffic light is not working. That means I'm gonna put my own light on. Good thing it's only a one-way street, but there's no cars coming. There is a cyclist coming though. And they're gonna stop for me. This is bad. One of the worst intersections to have a traffic signal out because Canal Street can be crazy. And I can't believe the city doesn't have a traffic agent there directing people or anything. Just because you're in a fancy car doesn't mean that you can make quick turns like that. And nearly hit me. Laurie says, I have always enjoyed your night walks in New York and ambiance of all lighting. A Cass, glad to see you brought your flashlight for such an emergency. Yes, I encourage anyone to get a flashlight because it really helps. Let's see if they fixed it. I reported this pothole to the city. It might still be here because I don't really see how they could really fix it without it sinking in again. Justin Roberts, $1.99. Would you collab with Dutch Moss? Thank you, Justin Roberts. Yeah, I'll consider collaborating with Dutch Moss. Thank you for the support. I don't know, that still looks like it hasn't been fixed. I want to see. Just let this cyclist go. Oh my gosh. It's been partially fixed. Look at this. This is nuts. The city didn't fix the problem. They just temporarily filled it in. Even you can see part of the traffic cone still here. Look, this part orange. Unbelievable. Well, I guess it's better than nothing, but this is a problem that's going to cause a lot more trouble for people going forward. That's what happens sometimes, folks. In the city, we only get temporary fixes and not a permanent solution. To me, that's not fixed still. They filled it in with the traffic cone still there. Oh man. They didn't even bother taking the traffic cone out. They just left it in there and just filled it in with more asphalt. Look at that. Such a mess. Justin Roberts, $1.99. Would you consider moving back to New York? I don't see why not. Life is unpredictable. Things could change. Test Street says maybe the mayor's watching your channel will send someone over to fix it. It's possible. Hong Mao says report the pothole again. Hey, I already did my part and reported it. I guess if it sinks any further, they're gonna have to fix it, right? Permanently. Oh, look at this. I'm glad I came. They have the police barriers up. The Feast of San Gennaro stalls are going up now. So, early teaser of what it's going to be. But just in a few days, the entire street's going to be starting to smell like sausage and peppers. And gelato and Zeppelis, all that good stuff. Janine says you wish it was tomorrow. Let's see how many vendors are going to be here compared to last year. So far it's looking pretty lively. Tamila says it doesn't look big enough for people to walk in and be in a line. You know, it can get kind of chaotic here. And I've heard this in many years past, especially the older generation who've said they've attended this feast. And you could have kind of experienced it last year. It wasn't as bad as what they described it, but they're saying the festival used to be like this. You're like crowded with a person in front of you like this, and you're walking like this, and everywhere you'd be stepping on Italian sandwiches and garbage. That's what it used to be like. I hope it's not to that level, because that'll be a little bit uncomfortable. I thought it was pretty good last year with the amount of people that were at the feast. But we'll see. It's definitely going to be more busy on nights and weekends when people are off work. Why is there a car in the middle of the street? Are they using it to set up? Ethan says, cool, you can walk through there even though it isn't set up yet. Yeah, this is pretty cool. That's why I wanted to walk through to see the progress. Because I would think it would be hard to set all this up at the last minute on like a Wednesday. Hey! Lucy sausage. I wonder. No, I think it's the next block. I was gonna say, I wonder if Rich Mancuso's friend Steve is going to have his sausage stand this year. I was trying to remember where it was last year, but it was up there. This is pretty cool to walk down here with all these tents still up. Adriana, they sure are ready. Hey, look, the Ferris wheel is going to be making a return. I thought this Ferris wheel was one of the best things at the Feast of San Gennaro last year, and I'll be excited to ride it again. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I should tell this restaurant that 2 rats just scurried in underneath those plants there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a concern because I just saw another rat run underneath there. And this is without any of the food stalls set up yet. Hung Mao saying it's bound to happen. Unfortunately, it is. It's pretty sad to see this. It is nice, yeah. Yeah. Tamila says they're setting up the booths. The ears will be ready. Sure. He says it needs to get some cats. I hope the rats are deterred from coming here and that they could find a solution. Hung Mao says there's a lot of coverage for these rats. Yeah, unfortunately for these outdoor dining structures, I've heard that a lot of them have become a haven for rodents. So these businesses and restaurants, they have to deal with it all the time. And to be honest, a lot of people are blind to the fact that they could be infested with germs and rodents. Before it's too late, say you asked me if I've seen any since I've been back. I've seen a lot. And I hope I don't see many more here. Roxanne Robles, $9.99. Thank you, Roxanne Robles. Thanks for watching and thanks for the support, Roxanne. So far, they've done a good job setting all this up. Oleg says, is it true there are many large rats on the streets of New York, and they're not very afraid of people? We just saw it back there. Those were large rats, and there were people dining outside, eating, and the rats were not deterred at all. I guess we'll see how large the feast is when I walk to the end. Last year I went all the way to Houston Street.
Oh yeah, that was a shit day because I was moving from US place to place where you left.
Tamila says, yikes how narrow the streets are with all the booths. Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's less space than last year, to be honest. These are coming out a little bit more. this portion of the feast might be a little bit tough to walk past, but we'll see. Looks like this one they're going to construct. Min Su Ho What No Euro stand. There might be one. It's just the sign for it might not be up yet. So there's going to be a pina colada station here. That's mango 23, pina colada, nice. Definitely need drinks in this feast. Laser Worm asking if Miami has rats or do the lizards eat them? I saw a few in Miami when I was down there. They're not as prevalent as they are up in New York City. I think the types of rats that are in New York, they can't really survive as well down there. But they do have more rodents by the coastline compared to inland. I noticed many of the same vendors from last year still in the same position as this year. They probably have their stall space assigned already. Roxy T, what are you looking forward to eating most during the feast? Probably a sausage and pepper sandwich. And over here we can see the sign already up. Welcome to San Gennaro. It's backwards. Here it is. You can start taking pictures of it already. I like how they have the United States flag and the Italian flag on either side. Head over to Broadway. and take a walk through NoHo. Ted's saying probably lots of people at St. Mark's Place this time. We could probably take a look at it. I haven't been to St. Mark's in a while. Gerard Vincent, $4.99. Great to see you in New York City. Are your parents happy to see me? Yes, they are happy to see me. Thank you, Gerard. Appreciate the support. Thank you very much. I think a lot of people are happy to see me in New York, including all my viewers here. Thanks, Jacqueline Porter, for $5. Appreciate it, Jacqueline Porter. Thank you. And Tila, $10. Miss seeing the New York City walks. 8K. Good to see you. Thank you, Tila. Thanks, Tila, for all your support and kindness. Yeah, we should take a look at St. Mark's Place. It's a Tuesday night, but it'll be a good gauge of what people are doing this late at night. I know it's a nightlife hotspot. Bless you. This is a problem. I'm glad they put this big stone block in front of this so no cars can go into it. What is up with the city's infrastructure? It feels like it's gotten worse since I left. There's steel plates everywhere here, and I feel like there's more scaffolding than ever before. You have that pothole on Canal Street that has been temporarily fixed and not permanently fixed. Mary Jean says the city seems to be falling apart. In some cases, it does. James is really heard some arguing. I did too. What was that? Was that a scream? It sure was. I don't know what for though. Let's cross now. What the heck? That taxi did nothing wrong. The driver behind him was the one that honked at the taxi who did nothing wrong. They were the impatient ones. You get honked at for doing the right thing here in this city. That's how it works. Oh boy. That's what I hate too. Like, if there's an intersection that you know you can't clear your vehicle with, what you're supposed to do is wait behind the line and wait for the next light. But drivers behind you, they honk at you saying, go through the light. And then they'll get mad at you for doing the right thing. Dwayne says, remember seeing a video on bad drivers in New York City. It's gotten worse. I've noticed it a lot more since I've been here. Laurie's saying it's still like watching the compilations. Some are amusing. It's amusing and also informative too. We're almost to 8th Street, where I'll make a right to get to St. Mark's Place. Keep saying India is the horn capital of the world. I've heard India is pretty bad too. There's a lot of traffic there and a lot of people. Menadol says, look at all the trash bags. The rats love the trash bags. It's an issue that New York City has a hard time of solving because That's the way we dispose of our trash. The bags are put out nightly and they're collected by the private garbage companies or the city. I think the mayor is trying to change that though. From what I've been reading, he's been trying to only set the hours for putting out trash until much later in the day. Because how it works currently is that I think starting from 5 o'clock the night before your collection day, you're allowed to put the trash out by the curb. And I think he wants to extend it to like, I forget the time period, but it's going to be a few hours pushed forward, which I don't think is a bad idea. The less trash on the curb means less garbage for the rats to feast on. Rachel Bruce says, what mic do I use? The sound quality is good. I'm using the same microphone I used yesterday, the Rode SmartLav Plus. I had an issue with the sound yesterday because my iPhone adapter was going bad on me and I didn't know. But luckily I was able to diagnose it. Luckily that iPhone adapter is only $8 compared to the microphone, which is at least $50. Wait a second, I don't want to cross the street because I have to get detoured over here. And I wouldn't want to walk on this street because of scaffolding, so you gotta pick one or the other. That's what I mean. I feel that New York City is under construction more ever since I left. Good amount of people here walking the streets. Hopefully St. Mark's Place doesn't have that construction in the front.
So
What was that all about? I just got called stupid in Spanish. That was unnecessary. But then again, I don't know the context. I'm not sure if it was directed at me. I'm 90% sure it was though. Yeah, I'm not sure if she was on the phone or not, but I'm not gonna judge. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she was on her phone. So here's St. Mark's Place. This is the street for all the nightlife. It's been kind of turned into like a mini Japantown. What?
that was awesome.
I beg to differ. I think that was kind of rude and inappropriate. And I would only scare people if I knew them. Otherwise, they may not respond the way you want to. And I've seen it happen before. Yeah, it's pretty quiet here in St. Mark's Place. St. Mark's is actually pretty quiet. Huh. Yeah, there's no one following me. I see some people typing in the chat about certain people. I'm aware. Oh, Boca, maybe she was talking about the guy in the red hoodie. Yeah, Gennaro, I wouldn't really know that now. So I can't judge anybody I don't know the context for. And we shouldn't judge her either. I've had that happen with a lot of things where no fault can be put on any party and you can't really do anything about it. You just have to move on. Now I'm walking up 2nd Avenue. Usually on a Friday night or the weekends, you'll see this street very busy, along with St. Mark's Place. How Yen says, you think New York City has been worse than last time you were here? In certain ways it has been. I feel that the city's become more unsafe in regards to traffic. People are driving more aggressively and people are being more reckless. Also, I feel like the city is still under some more construction. Yeah, Mr. Big's channel, we're on 2nd Avenue now. This is the East Village. Metadol saying the subway has become more unsafe to me. I barely take the train anymore and I am starting to bike to places more. Okay, I haven't really been taking the subway that much. I mean, I've been taking it since I've got here, but that's only been a few days. It's not something I can observe normally, like the streets of New York or driving. You have to be taking the subway quite frequently. I mean, think about it. I'll take the subway once to get into Manhattan and then once when I get back. And how many streets do I walk? Sometimes over 100 blocks. And I see these things on the streets. A little bit quiet for the East Village. Then again, we're pretty late at night. I think it's like getting close to midnight now. The bandit says to go by St. Mark's. I was there just a few moments ago. If you rewind the stream about 10 minutes before, you'll see St. Mark's. It wasn't really as busy as I thought. Oh, Cynthia, your parents lived across the street when you were born, 200 2nd Avenue. Where's 200? I can't really read any building numbers here. Oh wait, there it is. 198 to 200. So Cynthia's parents used to live in this building. And I know it's because that canopy is very tiny. 198 to 200. Good thing I was able to read it. Oh my gosh. What the heck is going on here? Give people a break. Oleg says that it's safe to walk around the city at night. Is it necessary to have a weapon for self-defense? I think it's necessary to have a flashlight on you late at night for incidents like that, because I think the city's become a lot more unsafe when it comes to traffic. I'm very serious about this. I've repeated it multiple times in this stream, and that's just one of the many encounters that we had during the stream with bad traffic and reckless driving. I'm telling you, I don't think it's the violent crime you have to be worried about. It's about getting hit by a car or a scooter or a bicycle. I think the odds of you being involved with a car crash are a lot higher. So now I made a left on 14th Street. I'll be walking 14th Street to Union Square, and then I'm gonna call it quits and take the subway back to Queens. Mr. Big's channel, that driver tried to make a right turn from the second most right lane and cut off the cab. Yeah, now that I thought about it, I think that was the case.
Oh my goodness.
She wants people information.
Was she al eerder?
Straight up 671. Welcome back. Saw you at Times Square on New Year's Eve, but you were too far away from me to say hi. Well, glad you can say hi now. Thanks for stopping by. You know, just thinking about what happened with the taxi almost getting cut off. If there was a collision, a side collision, one of those cars might have slid and lost control right into me. So even if you're not a party to the direct collision, the effects, you can be directly affected. So that's why it's important to stay a lot vigilant of what's going on.
Wait.
Sounds like the voice is a little bit distorted. Lisa says you need 10 pairs of eyes to cross the street right now. Every time I'm about to cross the street, I'm hyper aware of what's going on.
Pronto?
Joe's Pizza, popular spot, still late at night. It's the hot spot. Quintessential New York City slice right there. Yeah, Zach Farr, Joe's Pizza is good. Great for a late night snack. You know, even stuff like this can be dangerous. Tila says that will ruin your tires and alignment. You know, it was pretty bad this morning because we had a pretty bad rainstorm, and that rain caused a lot of the potholes to get flooded, and many people don't know. Look at this. Look at this. I'm not kidding you. New York City has gotten into a lot worse shape. How deep is that, huh? I'm reporting some potholes. 14th Street and Irving Place. And also 14th Street between Irving Place and 3rd Avenue needs some repair work. And whoa, look at this too. That needs to be fixed. Janine says that's the worst pothole you've seen. That's a pretty serious one because it's hard to spot. Christine Camley says, does the city respond quickly when you make a report? I find they're generally quick to respond to pothole complaints. Like that one I reported in Chinatown at Baxter Street and Canal. That one got fixed, I say fixed in quotation marks, pretty quickly. As we all saw, it was a temporary job though. Looks like it's sinking in again. right, the subway entrance is just ahead. TT says stay safe, AK. I appreciate all the concern. Also, to be sure not to miss my premiere tomorrow morning of how to stay safe in New York City at nighttime. I'm sure many of you can learn a lot even if you don't live in New York City. So about safety in the New York City subway late at nights. If it's really quiet, it's usually a good idea to walk to the conductor board in the middle of the platform. Then you're always guaranteed to have an MTA employee with you, or the first car where the driver is. I think they call it the motorman. And you'll know where the conductor board is because you'll see a checkered board in the middle of the platform. Like right here, you see a board hanging from the ceiling. It's right here. Here's the checkered board. And there's also a checkered board on this side. And I think there's another one up there for 10-foot cars. Yeah, this is the other one. This is what the main checkered boards are, the black and white versions. But anyway, I'm gonna wait here for the train. I'll be in a subway car with an employee in it. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate the late night walk in New York City with you all. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.